This is a conversation between Mike and me about some creative thing that he did, which was being able to output information that will go out to XML, well, really Excel-based XML, which makes it pretty nice. So we're using CRE to do this. So Mike is going to demonstrate what he did, so we can kind of understand the pattern.
I won't go too deeply into the CRE and everything, but basically it's just a simple report. Let me get a customer record here. I think we're using ABC company. Try to make this as simple as possible. Basically, it just pulls in a customer, and it's basically a list of invoices.
Makes sense.
I didn't get tricky with it. I didn't do any real fancy searching. I just said, give me all the transactions that are invoices, and basically header and detail. It's really what I ended up with. Customer details, customer info is the header, and then the transactions is the detail. Yeah. Okay. So really, all you do, all you end up with is an Excel spreadsheet file. I could just save the link. I'll just throw it in here for now. And then basically drill into it. It gives you this little warning message. Oh, maybe I should have said
that's primarily the warning because it's the latest version of Excel, right?
Right. Okay. So really what you end up with this.
Wow.
So this is just real simple. Yeah, just sort of a simple, here's your header and then some detail. Nice. It's doing some math here and here and here.
You dynamically generated those formulas?
Yeah, the ones that are dynamically generated is the amount due. I just basically did some subtraction. I mean, some real basic, simple stuff. These values are coming in from the database, and then I just generate this through a formula inside the code. Let me just show you the code. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, this is great. It's nice, simple, easy to understand.
Yeah, I mean, you can go and you can get pretty crazy with this. I mean, you could put this on another sheet. And then there's a technique for, getting these values. I think we did some work for AGA where we had like 5 worksheets, and then we were pulling in various values on a summary sheet. You can get pretty elaborate with that, but this was just sort of a real simple exercise to show it could be done. The code is pretty straightforward. The pattern I figured out basically with Excel, and it's probably not a good way to show because you really want to be able to collapse some of them. Let me just pull this into my editor. I'm just basically setting some form fields.
Yep.
You've got your workbook. Basically, everything is surrounded within this XML tag called workbook. And then you've got some real basic document properties. I mean, we've seen those. You can set those. And then as far as the workbook, it's got some properties, window heights, and so forth.
You took apart an XML document and basically just built off their pattern, reverse engineering it, right?
Exactly. And then you've got a styles section, very similar to HTML. The styles tend to be a little convoluted because it almost like it creates a separate style for every little effect. And then the meat of it is your worksheet. Each sheet here has its own worksheet definition. Makes sense. If you wanted more worksheets, you would just add, your worksheet tag. Yeah. There you go, so forth. Yeah, pretty cool. And you can even generate that dynamically too if you wanted to as well.
Totally makes sense.
There's a way to do that. So, and then within the worksheet, you've got a couple various sections, and it's just sort of like HTML. You've got tables, rows and columns, and then you just set certain parameters on. You've got your data types here that you have to specify. This can be a little tricky sometimes if you don't get that correct. And just like the other scripting that we do, just basically insert your field references in there. This is all header here, and then we get down to the actual lines, and you just loop through it, and here's your construct for your rows.
Oh, and there I see you have a formula. Yeah, you got a formula.
Yeah, right here, exactly. It's just summing across, and
that's a relative reference style, I think is what it is.
Relative reference, exactly. You just have a summary row, which gives you your totals, and here, you do have to kind of figure out where you are in the spreadsheet. And all you need to do is just count rows. And this is what I'm trying to do here, Marty, is I'm trying to get these values here, which are a summation of all these. But I need to know where I'm starting and where I'm ending. And that's what this row start kind of gives me the ability to know where I can go back. So it's just a little bit of gymnastics there. And your printing, you can specify some parameters for your printing. Let's see what this looks like if you print it. Actually looks pretty good. So
yeah, looks quite
not
good.
Too bad. And that's it. That's basically the pattern. All you really have is just sort of
that's beautiful. There was a couple things we saw as limitations. We couldn't put any macros in here or anything like that, right?
Right. If I were to insert, I even tried inserting, like if you insert an image in here and then you save it as an XML, it strips it. There might be a way to do it, but as of now, nothing really simple and easy.
Mike,
as far as like,
this is great though, really. I mean,
okay.
it's such a breakthrough.